There are battles you will never win if the enemy lives inside your own mind. All of us have tried to change the world. Outside people, circumstances, fate, only to collapse in exhaustion and frustration. But the great Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus revealed a truth powerful enough to reshape an entire life. Your greatest strength does not lie out there. It lies within you. In this video, we will walk through the 30 most profound lessons of Stoicism, from mastering your thoughts, choosing right action, accepting fate, to understanding life, death, and impermanence. This isn't just philosophy. This is a practical blueprint for living stronger, calmer, and freer in a chaotic world. If you're searching for inner peace, if you want to understand why your mind suffers, why emotions hurt so easily, and how to build an inner fortress no storm can break, then this video is for you. Let us begin the journey into the Stoics' unshakable inner citadel. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. This is precisely the dichotomy of control, the absolute foundation of all Stoic practice. Most human suffering comes from a fundamental error. We try to control what we cannot: external events, the weather, other people, death, possessions, and neglect what we can control: our mind. Judgments, will, assent. The strength mentioned here is not physical strength or political power. It is tranquility, apatheia, and inner freedom. When you truly realize this, and not just understand it intellectually, you become inviolable. A person can take your possessions, harm your body, or insult you, but they can never touch your capacity for judgment unless you allow it. Your mind is a kingdom where only you are king. This lesson teaches us to categorize every experience. When a negative emotion, anxiety, anger, fear arises, pause and ask, what is causing this? Is it within my control? If the answer is no, e.g., my boss is yelling at me, then the only response within our control is our judgment about it. Being yelled at is not bad. It is merely sound. My reaction is what is bad or good. This is the exercise that liberates you from the chains of externals. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. The modern world tells us that happiness, eudaimonia, is an equation of external factors: money plus fame plus relationships plus health equals happiness. Stoicism inverts that equation. Happiness is only one thing: virtue arete, or living a rational and upright life. Everything else is an indifferent. They are neither good nor bad. This statement is a revolutionary truth. It means a person can be in chains like Epictetus, in exile like Seneca, or dying like everyone, and still be happy. Happiness is not a fleeting feeling of joy, but a state of profound peace that comes from knowing you are acting rightly that your judgments are clear, and that your mind is in harmony with the cosmic reason logos. It teaches us to stop chasing external phantoms. Instead of asking, how do I get more X, ask, how do I use X or the lack of X virtuously? You do not need a new job, a new house, or a new relationship to be happy right now. You only need to adjust your way of thinking to align with reality and act with dignity. Our life is what our thoughts make it. This is another expression of the principle above. We do not live in a world of bare, objective truth. We live in a world of interpretation. The same event, for example, losing a job, can be interpreted by one person as a disaster, my life is over, and by another as an opportunity to begin anew, a test of endurance. The event is the same. Their life subjective experience is completely different. Your mind is an artist. It takes the raw material of reality events and paints the picture of your experience. If your mind is full of hasty judgments, fears, and insatiable desires, your life will be a chaotic, frightening canvas. If your mind is trained to see things objectively, acceptingly, and virtuously, your life will be a canvas of harmony and order. The lesson is to become a gatekeeper for your mind. Do not let every thought enter unchecked. When a thought appears, e.g., he disrespects me, challenge it. Is that a fact or just an opinion? What is my evidence? Even if he does that truly harm me or only his own character? Consciously create your life. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. This is the most radical application of internal control. Most of us think that being harmed is a passive process. Someone does something cause, and we are harmed effect. The Stoic says no, and there is a critical step in between our ascent, synkatathesis. The insult is not what harms you. It is your judgment that being insulted is a bad thing and damages me that causes the pain. This is an extremely powerful concept. It means no one in this world has the power to harm you mentally. They can only offer a stimulus. You are the one who decides whether to turn that stimulus into suffering. This is a shield. When someone says something offensive, visualize their words as an arrow flying toward you. You have two options. Stand there and judge. This arrow is terrible. It will kill me and feel the pain. Or two, recognize that it is just a flying object, an opinion, a sound, and step aside, refusing to judge it as harmful. Choosing not to be harmed is a conscious act of withholding assent from the initial judgment that you have been violated. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. This quote is similar to statement 8, but focuses on quality. What is quality here? It is clarity, objectivity, kindness, and alignment with reason. If you spend all day thinking about petty things, old grudges, worries about the future, or material desires, then the quality of your thoughts is very low, and therefore your happiness is also low. If you train your mind to focus on the present, on virtuous actions, on understanding the order of the cosmos, on compassion for others, as fellow beings who are also struggling, then the quality of your thoughts is high. It teaches us the importance of mental hygiene. Just as you wash your body, you must cleanse your mind. Read profound philosophical works. Spend time in quiet contemplation. Keep a journal, as Marcus Aurelius did, to examine your judgments. Be a strict curator of what you allow your mind to consume and dwell upon. Everything we hear is an opinion, not a fact. Everything we see is a perspective, not the truth. This is the discipline of objective judgment. We constantly mistake our initial impressions, fantasia, for reality. He is rude is an opinion. He spoke loudly is a fact, or closer to a fact. This job is terrible is a perspective. This job requires 80 hours a week and pays X salary is a fact. Truth is a concept belonging to logos, to the total order of the universe. What we as finite individuals experience are only perspectives filtered through our biases, emotions, and ignorance. Realizing this brings humility. It stops us from the arrogance of thinking we are always right. The lesson here is to separate value judgments from events. When something happens, try to describe it in the most objective language possible, as if a camera were recording it. My husband did not wash the dishes. Objective. Do not immediately jump to, my husband does not respect me, he is so lazy. Opinion. Perspective. By creating this space, you give reason a chance to step in and decide on a wise response instead of reacting with impulsive emotion. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. What does it mean to live in harmony with oneself internally? It is when your reason, emotions, and actions are not in conflict. You do not believe one thing and do another. You do not desire something while also fearing it. Your reason is the helmsman. The Stoics believed in logos, an orderly cosmic reason that imbues all things. Human reason is a fragment of that logos. Therefore, when you live in harmony with your own reason, using it to act virtuously, accepting what happens, you automatically live in harmony with the cosmic reason. You become a perfect note in the great symphony of reality, a dissonant note trying to fight the flow. Internal conflict is the source of anxiety. When you lie, you conflict with the truth. When you are lazy, you conflict with your potential. When you resent reality, you conflict with fate. The lesson is to strive for consistency. Let your words match your thoughts and your actions match your values. Peace comes from this internal integrity. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Imagine your soul or mind as a bolt of pure white silk at birth. Every thought you entertain, anxiety, anger, envy, greed, is a drop of dye. If you constantly dip the cloth into these dark dyes, it will eventually turn black. Conversely, thoughts of compassion, courage, acceptance, and reason will dye your soul in bright, strong colors. You are what you constantly think about. Character is not fixed, it is a cultivated habit. If you allow your mind to be a receptacle for negativity, that is who you will become. You cannot cultivate toxic thoughts and expect a happy, peaceful life. This quote is an urgent call to cultivate the mind. Like a gardener, you must actively pull the weeds. Negative thoughts, false judgments, and plant good seeds. Stoic principles, objective thoughts. This is daily, hourly work. Ask yourself multiple times a day, what am I thinking now? Is this thought useful? In what way is it dying my soul? Today I escaped anxiety. Or no, I discarded it because it was within me in my own opinions. This is a magnificent cognitive adjustment. We often speak of anxiety as something external that attacks us. The traffic is making me anxious. The presentation is making me anxious. Marcus Aurelius is correcting himself here. Anxiety is not an external storm. It is an internal one. The external event traffic. The presentation is neutral. It has no capacity to create anxiety. Anxiety is created by us, by our judgments. I must be on time or it will be a disaster. I must do well on the presentation or everyone will think I am a fool. And it is these judgments, my own opinions, that are the sole source of anxiety. When you realize anxiety is self-created, you also realize you have the power to dismantle it. You do not need the external event to change to feel peaceful. You only need to change your opinion. Escaped implies the enemy is external. Discarded recognizes the enemy is internal, and you have complete control over it. Discard the judgment that a certain outcome is a disaster, and the anxiety will dissolve. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. This is the precise formula for dealing with mental anguish. Epictetus said, "Men are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of things." Pain mental is a choice. This is a shocking statement to most people. But consider it, being fired is an event. The feeling of misery and despair is due to the judgment that being fired is a terrible thing. It proves I am worthless. You have the absolute right to revoke that judgment and replace it with, being fired is an external event not within my control. It is neither good nor bad, it simply is. Now, how will I respond to it with courage and reason? This is your most powerful tool. The power to revoke is the human superpower. Practice it with small things. You spill coffee. Initial judgment. Damn it, what a terrible day. Revoke it immediately. Replace it with, coffee was spilled. It is a neutral event. I will go get a towel. By practicing with the small things, you will build the strength to do it with great catastrophes. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. This is a profound observation on the paradox of human nature. Fundamentally, we care about our own survival and well-being, love ourselves, but strangely, we hand the keys to that well-being over to others by letting their opinions determine our feelings. The Stoic values the judgment of inner reason, one's own, above all. The opinion of the crowd, even of friends or family, is still an external event. It is outside our control and irrelevant to our virtue. Seeking external approval is a form of slavery. You are making yourself a slave to the ever-changing judgments of others. This quote teaches us about mental autonomy. Learn to judge yourself based on a single metric. Did you act according to virtue and reason? If you did your best with good intention, then your own judgment based on Stoic principles is sufficient. If the whole world praises you for a cowardly act, you should still feel shame. If the whole world condemns you for a courageous act, you should still feel at peace. Right thinking is useless if it does not lead to right action. Stoicism is not a passive philosophy, meditating on a mountain. It is a philosophy of the battlefield, of the political arena, of daily life. This is where virtue aureti is manifested. The best revenge is to be unlike the person who wronged you. When someone harms us, the instinctive reaction is an eye for an eye. If they deceive, we deceive back. If they are cruel, we are cruel back. Marcus Aurelius points out that in doing so, we have failed. We have let them drag us down to their level. The one who harmed you acted from ignorance, from a chaotic mind, from an inferior character. Revenge, by imitating them, only proves that you are as ignorant and chaotic as they are. The true revenge, the true victory, is to maintain your own virtue, meet their cruelty with your integrity, meet their cowardice with your courage. This is a lesson in moral superiority. The next time someone treats you badly, see it as a test. They are giving you an opportunity to practice virtue. You can choose to become like them and fail, or you can choose to uphold your standard and win. Your peace comes from knowing you acted rightly, regardless of what they did. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Philosophy can easily become an intellectual game. We can spend a lifetime arguing about the definitions of justice, courage, or good. But for the Stoic, philosophy is an art of living. It is like medicine. The purpose is not to discuss theory, but to heal the soul. Action is the sole measure of character. Eloquent words about morality are worthless if your behavior contradicts them. A good person is defined by their actions in the present moment. Be one is a command for immediate action. This lesson is against moral procrastination. Do not wait until you understand everything to start living well. Start right now. In the next situation you encounter, act with the courage, justice, temperance, and wisdom you can muster. In the evening, review your actions, as Seneca advised, and see where you can do better tomorrow. Learn by doing. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. This quote connects directly to memento mori. Remember death. Life is short and uncertain. We do not have time to waste on trivialities, hatred, or greed. We only have a finite time, a present to act. Be good is not a vague piece of advice. In the Stoic context, it means to act according to virtue. It means to live as a rational social being. Our purpose is to contribute to the hive, to the human community. This is a reminder of urgency. Each day is an opportunity that may never return. Do not postpone a kind act. Do not withhold a word of thanks. Do not evade a moral responsibility. While you live while it is in your power, emphasizes that there will come a time when you no longer can. Act now while reason and opportunity allow. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This is a simple but extremely rigorous ethical rule. It demands absolute integrity between thought, word, and deed. It leaves no room for white lies, exaggerations, or half-hearted actions that go against your best judgment. Right here means aligned with virtue, justice, courage, temperance, wisdom. True means aligned with reality. Living by this rule creates a powerful internal harmony, like quote 14. There is no conflict, no internal shame, because you know you are always acting and speaking from a place of truth and rightness. This is a filter to use daily. Before you say something, ask, is this true? If you are not sure, remain silent or state your uncertainty. Before you do something, ask, is this right? If your reason says no, then do not do it, no matter how great the external pressure or potential personal gain. This is the hard path, but it is the only path to true self-respect. to focus only on what I myself am doing, that it may be just and upright. Lưu ý câu này dường như là một bản tóm tắt nguyên tắc khắc kỷ hơn là một trích dẫn trực tiếp nổi tiếng. Bản dịch này bám sát vào nội dung tiếng Việt được cung cấp. This quote speaks of the enormous waste of energy in judging others. We spend too much time worrying about what the neighbors think, what colleagues are doing, or the faults of politicians. This is a distraction from our only real work. Your only job is your own inner garden. You are responsible for keeping your judgments clear, your actions upright, and your will aligned with nature. What others do is their business. They have their own reason logos, and they will have to answer to it themselves. This lesson is a call to turn inward. Withdraw the mental energy you are wasting on monitoring and judging others. Redirect that energy inward. What I myself am doing, is it upright? Is it courageous? You will find that managing yourself is already a full-time job. By focusing on this, you not only save time, but also become a better example for the very people you used to judge. The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The second is to look things in the face and know them for what they are. This is an excellent two-step formula. Step 2. Looking things in the face is the tool to achieve step 1, an untroubled spirit. An untroubled spirit, apatheia, is the goal. Mean being emotionless, but being undisturbed by negative, irrational passions like fear, anger, greed. How to achieve this? By knowing them for what they are. This means practicing objectivity. When an event occurs, e.g., the stock market crashes, do not look at it through the lens of panic or disaster. Look it in the face. The numbers on the screen have changed. The value of my paper assets has decreased. This is the nature of markets. By peeling the event away from the emotional judgment, you maintain an untroubled spirit. From this state of calm, you can then make a rational decision about what to do next. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. This is a statement that can be misunderstood. Ambitions in the Stoic context, not ambition for money, power, or fame. Those are indifference. The true ambition, the only ambition worth having, is the ambition for virtue. What are your ambitions? Is it to be the richest man in the graveyard? Or is it to become the most courageous, just, and wise person you can be? Your worth is measured by the goal you aim for. If you aim for fleeting externals, your worth is just as fleeting. If you aim for eternal virtue, your worth is just as enduring. This quote challenges us to re-examine our goals. Write down your ambitions. Are they within your control, e.g.? To become rich is not, but to work diligently and save wisely is. More importantly, are they truly good? Set your ambitions on forging your character. This is the only ambition that no fate can take away from you. What is not good for the swarm is not good for the bee. This is the core of the social ethics of Stoicism. Man, by Marcus Aurelius's definition, is a social creature. We were born to cooperate like bees in a hive, or limbs on a body. Selfish individualism is irrational. It goes against our nature. The happiness and benefit of the individual cannot be separated from the happiness and benefit of the community, family, city, humanity. An action is only truly good for you if it is also good, or at least not harmful, for the collective. This is a lodestar for action. When making a decision, ask yourself, does this benefit the hive? If you cheat in business, it might be good for the bee, you in the short term, but it harms the hive social trust. Therefore, it ultimately harms you by eroding your own character. Act for the common good, and you will find your own good within it. The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This is one of the most famous and powerful statements from Marcus Aurelius. It is a form of psychological alchemy. Instead of seeing an obstacle as a wall that stops, you see it as raw material for a new action. Reality always presents us with obstacles: illness, difficult people, failure. You cannot control their appearance, but you can control how you react. The obstacle does not prevent virtuous action, it demands virtuous action. The injustice of others demands your courage and fairness. Your own illness demands your patience and endurance. This is a practical mindset. When you encounter a problem, do not lament, "Why me?" Ask, "What virtue does this demand of me?" If your car breaks down the impediment, this is an opportunity to practice patience. Advancing the action of patience and resourcefulness. Advancing the action of finding a solution. The path to your goal, e.g., a meeting may be blocked, but the path of virtue is never blocked. What stands in the way? The broken car becomes the way. The opportunity for calm and patience. Accept the things to which fate binds you. The people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all your heart. This sentence contains two parts: accepting fate things and loving fellow humans, people. The things to which fate binds you, that which cannot be changed, where you were born, your family, your body, the major events of your time. To fight them is a waste of energy, like a dog chained to a cart trying to run in the opposite direction. Accept is the first step, but love, especially for people, is a higher step. We must love them, not despite their flaws, but because they are human fellow travelers on the journey of humanity, just as flawed as we are. With all your heart is the key. This is not a reluctant, teeth-gritting acceptance. It is a warm acceptance. Fati, embrace your fate as if you had chosen it. Love the people around you sincerely as brothers, because Logos has brought you together. This is the path to harmony with society and the universe. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it if you have to with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. This is the antidote to anxiety. Anxiety is the fear of an imagined future, a future we believe we will be unable to cope with. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that we already have the resources, the weapons of reason, the capacity for judgment, courage, patience that you are using or should be using to deal with today's challenges are the very same weapons you will have tomorrow. You do not need to solve tomorrow's problems with today's strength. You only need to trust that when tomorrow comes, the strength reason will be there also. The lesson is to focus on the present. Hone your weapons right now. How do you deal with a difficult email today? How do you cope with a small disappointment today? By training your reason on the small things. You are sharpening your weapons for the bigger battles if they come. The future is not frightening. It is the lack of trust in our own reason that is frightening. Adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast, and love the men with whom you have to live with a sincere affection. This is a beautiful repetition emphasizing adaptation and sincere affection. Adapt is an active word. It is not passive resignation. It is like water flowing, finding its way around obstacles. Fate places you in poverty. Adapt by practicing simplicity and moderation. Fate places you in wealth. Adapt by practicing generosity and non-attachment. Sincere affection. Philanthropia is contrasted with social obligation. The Stoic does not call on you to like everyone, but it calls on you to love them at a fundamental level of humanity. Treat them with justice, kindness, and patience, not because they deserve it, but because you are a virtuous person. This is an action born of reason, not fleeting emotion. Confine yourself to the present. This is the simplest but most profound command. Our entire life takes place in only one instant, the present. The past is dead. It is only memory, often inaccurate. The future does not exist. It is only projection, often full of anxiety. Both are outside our control. To waste energy regretting the past or worrying about the future is an act of insanity. Our only power, our only action, our only life is here right now. This is a practice of meditation in action. When you find your mind drifting to the past, I should have, or the future, what if, gently pull it back. Ask yourself, what is my job right now? Perhaps it is listening to a person who is speaking. Perhaps it is washing the dishes. Do that thing with 100% of your attention.
Peace and effectiveness are both found in the present moment fully lived. Receive without arrogance. Let go without attachment. This quote speaks to our relationship with indifference, especially the preferred ones like possessions, reputation, health. Receive without arrogance. When fate grants you good things, accept them. The Stoic is not an ascetic who rejects all pleasure, but do not let them give rise to arrogance. Recognize that they are not yours. They are merely on loan. They do not make you better. Let go without attachment. This is the harder part. When fate reclaims those things, loss of money, health, reputation, let them go lightly. Have no attachment. Do not grieve as if you have lost a part of yourself, because they were never yours in the first place. They were only props on a stage. Practice preferred indifference. Enjoy what you have, but frequently remind yourself of their impermanence. Imagine your life without them. This is not to be morbid, but so that when the time to let go actually comes, you will be ready and tranquil. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This is the positive side of memento mori. Realizing that we could have not woken up makes the very act of waking a miracle. We take living for granted. We grumble about having to get out of bed. Marcus Aurelius reminds us that existence itself is an unbelievable privilege. To possess reason, to think, to experience the world, to enjoy, and to connect with others, to love, are incredible gifts. Begin each day with gratitude. Before checking your phone or worrying about your to-do list, take a minute to contemplate. I am alive. I am breathing. I have one more day to practice virtue. This attitude changes the entire tone of the day, turning burdens into opportunities. Look back over the past, with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future too. This is an exercise called the view from above, and it takes us out of our petty individual worries and places us in the context of cosmic history. Everything is impermanent. Mighty empires, Rome, Persia, etc., that once thought they were eternal are now but dust. Your problems, your successes, your fears, in the grand scheme of time, will also pass just the same. This is not to make you despair, but to liberate you. When you are overwhelmed by a problem, practice this exercise. Imagine you are flying high above your city, then higher still seeing your country, then the entire planet. Look at the flow of history. Ask yourself, in 100 years will this matter? The answer is almost always no. This helps you gain proper perspective and realize what truly matters, your virtuous action right now. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. This is a magnificent inversion. We spend our lives fearing an event, death, that we do not experience, because when it comes, we are no longer there. Meanwhile, we waste the only moment we have, life. What does never beginning to live mean? It is living a zombie life. A life controlled by automatic reactions, fear, greed, and the approval of others. It is a life without reason, without purpose, without virtue. That is the real tragedy. This quote is a wake-up call. Are you truly living, or are you merely existing? You making conscious choices based on your values? Or are you drifting? Use death as a motivator. Because you will die, you must begin to live right now. Make the hard choice. Say the words of love. Pursue virtue. Perfection of character is this: to live each day as if it were your last, without frenzy, without apathy, without pretense. This quote provides a practical formula for memento mori. Living as if it were your last day does not mean partying recklessly, that is frenzy. It means living with absolute urgency and attention. 3 things to avoid. 1. Without frenzy, do not panic. Act calmly, rationally, like a Stoic. 2. Without apathy, do not think, oh, if this is the last day, then nothing matters. On the contrary, precisely because it might be the last day, everything matters. Every kind act, every courageous act. 3. Without pretense, stop play acting. Be your true self, living by your true values. There's no more time for masks. Ask yourself at the end of the day, if today were my last, would I be satisfied with how I acted, how I treated others, and the judgments I made? This question is the ultimate filter for all actions. Soon you will have forgotten everything. Soon everything will have forgotten you. Lui kone lamotrit dun phobian to Marcus Aurelius. Meditations 7.21. Duk jung de dindat e ki uk ve moi tu roi set nyen chung bilanquen. This is the naked truth about impermanence. Even the greatest Caesar Alexander are almost forgotten or remembered incorrectly. You and I certainly will be forgotten. This has two effects. First, it cures arrogance. If you are seeking eternal fame, you are chasing a ghost. Second, it cures the fear of judgment. Are you worried about what others think of you? Those people will also be forgotten, and so will you. So why let their fleeting opinions control you? The only thing that matters is not to be remembered, but to act rightly in the present. Act for virtue, not for fame. Do what is right because it is right, not because someone will build a statue for you. Oblivion liberates us from the burden of legacy so we can focus on the task at hand. We have passed through 30 stations of a great journey, from mastering the mind to acting rightly, accepting fate, and finally confronting impermanence. You see, Stoicism is not a cold belief system. It is a practical, warm, and powerful art of living. It does not promise you a life without pain, physical or difficulty external. It promises something far greater, a life without inner turmoil, a tranquil soul, a fortress that cannot be breached, no matter how fierce the external storm. These quotes are the map. But reading the map does not get you to the destination. You must walk the path. You must take these tools and use them today, tomorrow, and every day until your last. Live virtuously. We've just traveled through 30 lessons on building an inner fortress, sharpening your mind, and freeing yourself from the emotional storms of the outside world. But remember, philosophy only lives when you practice it. Whenever anger rises, remember the power of your judgment. Whenever obstacles appear, remember that the obstacle becomes the way. Whenever anxiety takes hold, remember the fear is in your mind, not in the event. If today you apply even one small lesson, your life has already begun to change. And if you want to continue this journey of inner discipline, calmness, and strength through Stoic wisdom, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you won't miss the next videos. Thank you for staying until the end. I'll see you again on the path toward becoming the strongest version of yourself.